Hi, I'm Ben Jackson, Executive Vice President of the Illinois Bankers Association.
Randy Hultgren, President and CEO of the Illinois Bankers Association.
Today we want to give a brief recap of the recent election and look at both the state picture and the national picture for what occurred. And Randy, I think, is going to start briefly with the national picture, what occurred in the federal election, and then we'll shift to the state and talk about some impacts.
Big changes in the national election. I don't know that any of us knew what was going to happen. And honestly, many of us surprised of how things went with a pretty strong victory by former President Trump to get back in and have well over 300 electoral votes. I think that was a surprise, and that was decided within 24 hours. I think that was a surprise as well, that it was as decisive and as quickly determined. Also, with the Senate going to the Republicans, flipping, I think it was 4 seats. So they ended up with 53 to basically 47. We'll see how some of the independents caucus and things going forward. But just recent news in the last few minutes with Senator Thune from South Dakota becoming the new majority leader. That's going to be a significant change to see how he leads the Senate majority and a lot of the work working with the administration. Still unsure what's going to happen in the House as of recording of this. I think the House Republicans are still about 2 seats short of 218. But I think most people believe it's going to go that way, that Republicans will have control of each of the 3 different bodies, but very close numbers, especially in the House. It'll be as close or closer, I think, than it was this last session. We saw how difficult it was. So, again, significant election. Republicans won on those 3 different areas, but I think, again, whether they have enough of a lead, especially in the House, to be able to pass things, that's a real question, and we'll have to see. Also going to be looking at different appointments that the president is going to be making. I think with the Republicans in majority in the Senate, it's a pretty good likelihood that he'll be able to get his cabinet appointees through. So a lot to watch there, and I think pretty significant potential impact on banking, specifically in some of those different leadership spots with Treasury and other places that could be impacted there, and different regulatory agencies. We'll have to see what happens and what the president does in those areas. So a lot of change. We're still waiting to see how it actually is going to roll out and impact Illinois. But I would love, Ben, you to give a little bit of an impact of update on Illinois.
Sure. And one more item on the national picture. Of course, some of those regulatory agencies, there will be a lag time in appointments because their term positions, the FDIC board, for example, and there's also a partisan divide on those boards. So it remains to be seen how quickly the agency will change. But, definitely during the last Republican administration, we kind of immediately saw an impact of kind of regulation that was a little more conscious of how banks operate in their communities. So we expect that to kind of change pretty quickly. On the state side, we didn't expect much change. It's a starkly different picture, as everyone knows, in Illinois. Very Democratic state. It remains that way. There was a belief that, at least in the Illinois House, there would be some pickups by the Speaker, by the Democrats in the House. That didn't occur. It looks like status quo. So while there's supermajorities of Democrats in control about both the state House and Senate, there wasn't additional pickups in either chamber by the Democrats. So status quo there, supermajorities, Democratic governor, across the board, Democratic leadership at the state level. We do expect that this is going to be a difficult budget year in Illinois. And certainly the election results, there were some surprising areas that Republicans performed well, even in the city of Chicago. There's incredible budget pressure in Chicago, as well as within the Chicago school district, CPS, and across the board through state government. It's going to be a tough fiscal year, and we do think that the election results will have some effect even on the Democrats in terms of how they go about doing the budget and operating into the new General Assembly starting in January.
So, very interesting election. As always, be confident that we are engaged. We're going to keep working, fighting for our banks, fighting for our bankers, whether it's on the state level, federal level, or city of Chicago. Proud that we are the one association that is working at all of those levels and have a really strong voice at each of those spots. So Thank you. Thanks for being members. Please let us know if you have any other questions. But we're going to continue to work on your behalf, fight on your behalf, both out in Washington, D.C. and here in Illinois. So anything else that we missed, Ben?
I'd echo that and just say that if there's some individual briefings that you want to do for your senior leadership or your boards, we're always happy to come in person and give a more in-depth briefing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.